Hello friends, I'm Shaikh from blogtoot.com and welcome to the third episode of What After Creating a WordPress Website. Now in today's video, I'll show you how to secure your WordPress website from hackers and attacks. Now WordPress by default has many vulnerabilities and it is quite easy for a hacker to get access and change or to do some bad thing to your website. So today we'll fix all those security related issues with our WordPress website. Now if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. If you have already done that, click on that bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos or future updates. Give a thumbs up to this video if you find this helpful. Leave a comment if you have any doubt, any queries, any questions for me. With that being said, let's get into it. So first, go to your dashboard and obviously to install or to start using iThemes security, that is the plugin that we are going to use in this video to secure our website. First, we need to install that plugin. So from the left hand side, our plugins, click on add new. Now click on this search plugin and search for iThemes, not themes. Okay, so this is the one iThemes security which was formerly known as Better WP Security. This is by iThemes. As you can see, it has got more than 900,000 active installation, which is awesome. So simply click on install now button. Now let's activate this plugin. So once you activate and install this, you will see at the left hand side you have a new tab which is security. Let's click on that. First, it will ask you to do a security check. So let's click on this secure site button. Now as you can see, you need to give your email address to activate network brute force protection, which is a very important setting. So I would highly recommend you to do that. Now I have already used this email address, so that's why it simply took my email address and ran it. But for you, it might happen that when you give your email address, you will receive a code on your on your Gmail inbox. You will have to paste in that code. That is basically the API code. So you have to paste in that API code over here and everything will be fine. Okay. Now let's close this setting and let's go through all these settings which are really important and really useful. So we are done with the security check. The second option is the global settings. So let's click on configure settings. Now whether you want to allow security iThemes security to write to wp config and .htaccess page, yeah, we do want to allow it, so make sure it is tick mark. Now whenever this plugin logs out some host or some person, what should be the error message? So you can change the error message. Now whenever this plugin log out any user, what should be the error message? For example, here it says you have been logged out due to too many bad login attempts. Alright, so this is just the message. Community logout message: your IP address has been flagged as threat by the iThemes security network. Okay. Blacklist, a repeat offender. Now make sure this thing is enabled, and when you enable this thing, this is the three settings that is related to this option. So basically what is happening is when we are doing a setting over here that whenever someone tries to misuse or do some damage to our website, we want to blacklist their IP address and ban that person, that user, from visiting our website so that they cannot do any damage. Now we have to select a threshold and lockout period, a look back period and lockout period. Okay. So in the threshold, you have three threshold, that is the number of lockouts per IP before the host is banned permanently from this website. And in the blacklist look back period, how many days should a lockout be remembered to meet the blacklist count above. And the third option is lockout period, that is 15 minutes. You can select any increase or decrease that minutes. Now that is the length of time a host or user will be banned from site after hitting the limit of bad login attempts. Now basically what is happening here is, suppose someone comes to your website and they try to do a login and they put in some wrong credentials. Okay, so basically what they are trying to do is they are trying all the different combinations, putting some username, some password, and they are trying to get access to your website. So what we are doing over here is we are giving them three chances. So once they are logged out from our website 3 times within 7 days, they will be permanently logged out or banned from our website. Okay, and the before getting permanently logged, they will be logged out for 15 minutes. So it is quite a tricky, I know, to understand for the first time, but just don't do any settings. Just make sure all these settings are as it is. Okay, now a very important thing is to click on this button that add my IP address to the whitelist, so that by mistakenly you don't get logged out. So just click on this button, it will put in your IP address over here. And if you're using your website dashboard from different places like your office, your home, then go there, click on that button over there, or log in to this website first and click on this button, so that IP address is also whitelisted. Very important. Okay, now after that no setting is that important, so we can simply click on save settings from here. Then we have notification center. So whenever something happens to your website, how do you want to receive the notification for that? So let's configure this setting. So first is database backup. So where you want to receive the database backup. So it is very important to have a backup of your data. Now in spite of doing all these security settings, even after that, if your website gets hacked or some damage is done to your website, you can restore your website by using this database backups. Okay, so you have to put in the email address where you want to receive these backups. The next option is security digest. So if you want to receive only one email address per day or per week, instead of receiving email address every time that something happens to your website, then you can enable this. So they will give you a digest of whatever has happened to your website every day or every week, whatever you select. Okay, so simply tick mark over here, and you can change the subject over here. This is the subject that you will see when you receive that email. Now whether you want to receive this daily or weekly, and recipient who all will receive this, so you have to select this one. Or if you have different admins and if you want only you to select receive, then you can select your username from here and you can untick this thing. Now whether you want to receive a notification for site lockouts, yes, we do want to receive a notification for that. So simply tick mark this and click on save settings. Alright, so setting was saved successfully. Now 404 detection, this is also an important page, so let's enable this. Let's configure settings. Now it is using the same settings that we have done earlier in the first option: number of lockouts, before permanent ban, how long should a lockout be remembered for 7 days, and all those things. So minutes to remember 404 error. So basically what happens is some people try to visit your website and they are trying to find a file on your website that they can write their scripts on, and they can damage your website. So they will try different URLs at the top, and they will, if they are successful, they'll get the file. If not, they'll see that 404 not found page. So what we are doing here is we are setting a threshold to that. So if a person sees this much number of 404 pages within this period of time, then that person is obviously trying to find something, and he wants to do some damage to our website. So we are banning that person. So that is basically what is happening over here. So minutes to remember 404 error. So within 5 minutes, if they get 20 errors, you can decrease this to 10 or 5, whatever you like. So I think 5 should be better. So within 5 minutes, if they get 5 errors, then they should be banned. Okay, and here there are a few files that are excluded, like this one. Now these files can be used by different softwares like Google Analytics and so we don't want to remove this. We make sure everything over here is whitelisted. If you want to whitelist some more, you can add them in a new line. Now ignore file types, we are ignoring this JPEG and all these things because basically they don't play around with these pages. They are mainly focused on those PHP pages. Okay, so simply select these things and click on save settings. Now away mode. Away mode is also very important for it. Might be important for most of you guys. Let me explain you what this is. First, let's enable this and let's configure settings. So this is useful for two types of people. For example, I am a person and I'm very much sure that after 12 a.m. I will not visit my dashboard. I will not create any post because at that time I am asleep. Okay, so what I can do is for that period of time, for example from 12 a.m. to morning 7 a.m. I can disable access to the dashboard. Okay, so that when I am sleeping, no one can access the dashboard, not even me. Okay, or sometimes if you're going for a vacation like 5-7 days, and if you're sure that I'm not going to carry my laptop, I'm not going to open the dashboard and do anything, so you can select one time from here and you can select the date and time, start and end date and time, and for that period of time no one will be able to visit your dashboard. So these settings can be useful for some, but I am disabling this for now. Now banned user, this is automatically or already enabled. As you can see, you're getting this configure settings. So let's see what this is. So the first option is default blacklist. Make sure to tick mark this because this website hackrepairs.com has a list of blacklisted IP addresses. So what we want is we want to import those lists from them, and whenever that IP address or that person is trying to visit our website and make some damage to our website, we will ban those IP addresses. So that basically that is what it is. Now when we scroll down, we don't have much to do over here. Simply click on save settings. Now after that we have database backups. So let's configure settings. Let's see what this is. Now backup full database. Now if you want to back up the entire database, you can select this thing, which I think is quite good, not bad. So select this thing, and where do you want those backups? Okay, where do you want to receive those backups? Like if you want to receive those on email, then you can select this. If you want to get those backups saved on your local FTP server, you can select this thing. If you want both to be sent on your email and on your server, you can select this thing. Now you can change the location from here. Okay, this is the location. Okay, WP content, uploads and all those things. Now backups to retain. Now if you type in one over here, one backup, so you'll have only one backup, and whenever suppose I received a backup today, so I'll have one backup, and when I receive the next backup tomorrow, what happens is the old backup, that is the yesterday's backup, will be deleted and this will be retained. So basically if you want to receive retain 7 backups, you can type in 7. If you want to retain 1, you can type in 1, and so on. If you type 0 over here, all the backups will be retained and nothing will be deleted. Now make sure this thing is enabled or tick mark, because we want to receive those database backups in a zip file. We don't want to receive in some other format. Okay, so make sure this thing is enabled. You can schedule a database backup, like if you don't want to receive them daily, you can schedule them for 3 days, 7 days and so on. It's all up to you. Now let's click on save settings from here. Alright, now after that we have file change detection. So let's enable this and let's see what this thing does. Let's configure settings. Alright, so we have to select the file and folder list to exclude from here. So whenever some changes are done to some files, you will receive a notification. So here you can disable those files that you want to disable. For example, if you want to disable this file, like a readme or license.txt, you can select this thing. You can just simply drag over here. Okay, I think you should click on this. Okay, so don't drag it over here, just click on this minus and it will be disabled. So basically what is happening here is, whenever, for example, this is the .htaccess page. Okay, so whenever someone does some changes to this page, you will receive a notification. So that is basically what happens over here. Now when you scroll down, you can ignore some file types like PNG, JPEG, all these media files. So this is by default ignored, and rest everything is fine. So just click on save settings. Then we have this thing, file permissions, so nothing special over here, so we can leave that. Now local brute force protection is very important, so let's configure settings over here. Now most of the settings are already done, which you'll see over here. Permanently ban, this is the first setting that we did. Number of lockouts before permanent ban, 7 lockouts to be remembered for 7 days, and so on. Now here we have to set up a threshold for login attempts. So how many login attempts a person can do before they get logged out or before they are permanently banned from your website. So maximum number of login attempts per host, that is per IP address, and maximum login attempts per user. So you can select this thing, 5, 10, you can reduce them, increase them. Minutes to remember bad login attempts. So if you type 5 minutes, if within 5 minutes they do 5 bad login attempts, they will be locked out. So that is basically what it means. Now I would recommend you to select this thing, tick mark this thing. Now whenever someone tries to log into your dashboard using admin as the username, we want to immediately ban them, because it says that they are trying to get access to the dashboard. And make sure your username is not admin. Please don't keep username like admin and password like pass, PASS, or just password, typing in password or 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All those things are really bad. Okay, so make sure you change your username. Don't put admin or username something like that. Put some unique username. Okay, so tick mark this thing, but at the same time make sure your username is not admin, or else you will be locked out. Okay, now let's click on save settings. Now this was the local brute force. Now this is the network brute force, which is more powerful and more important. So let's configure settings over here. Now just make sure that this API key is present over here. Now what is the difference between a local brute force and a network brute force? Now first of all, we have done the login attempt settings. Basically what happens, if you don't set that threshold, login attempt threshold, what happens is WordPress by default allows a person to do unlimited number of login attempts, and ultimately if you don't put a threshold, then they might get access to your website. Ultimately they might reach the perfect combination of username and password, and they might come to your website. Now in the local brute force, that is related to our website, but in the network brute force, what is happening is we have a network of people. So I am using iThemes on my website, my friend is using on his website, and hundreds of thousands of people are using iThemes on their website throughout the world. So suppose IP address was trying to do a bad login on someone or some WordPress website that is using using iThemes. So what happens is that IP address is saved in a network, and now all the people who are using iThemes security, that IP address will be banned whenever that person or that IP address tries to visit any website that is using iThemes security and that has enabled network brute force protection. I hope that was clear. I hope that was nothing tricky, something like that. Okay, so basically it's a network and everyone is sharing some stuff like, you know what, ban this IP address, ban this IP address on your website as well, because this IP address was trying to get access to my website. So that is basically what it is. So just make sure everything is fine over here and click on save settings. Now password requirement, if you want to enable strong password requirement, you can set this. Now this is basically useful for people like who are running a WordPress website, like wherein people can send friend requests, they can chat and so on, or when someone is using WooCommerce to create an e-commerce website. So when a new user registers on your website, do you want them to set a very strong password, like a combination of letters and symbols and numbers and so on? So this is what is useful for. Now to configure the use of SSL, make sure to enable this. Now enable this only if you have this SSL certificate, this secure socket on your website. If you don't have that, don't enable it. Okay, now let's configure settings. I think nothing will be there. Okay, we have to enable this thing. Okay, redirect all HTTP page requests to HTTPS. This is a very important setting, so make sure to enable this and click on save settings. Now let's see what this system tweaks is. So let's enable this. Let's configure settings. Now if you want to protect system pages like these pages, you know, WP config and all those things, but I think you should leave this thing. If you want, you can, you know, just enable this, but I would recommend you to leave these things. Okay, and tick mark this thing, disable directory browsing, very important. And tick mark this as well, filter suspicious query string in the URL. And don't tick mark this, or filter long, no, not required. Remove file writing permissions, disable tick mark this as well, disable PHP in uploads. Basically people who are trying to attack and write some script on your website, they will be using this method. Okay, so make sure to disable this and click on save settings. Then at the end you will see this thing, WordPress Salt is automatically on. You can simply click on configure settings and tick mark this thing, change WordPress Salt, and click on save settings. So basically WordPress, when you do this thing, you will be logged out and you'll have to log in again. Now again, let's go to security settings. Alright, so most of the setting, in fact all the setting is done only except for one, and that setting is under the advanced section. So you have to click on advanced, and that is the most important setting. Now this setting that we are going to do is the most important setting. So we have to hide the backend. Now everyone knows how to go to a dashboard login page. Okay, so this is my website, for example. Okay, so let me open this in a new incognito window. Now whenever someone wants to go to the dashboard, what they do is, whatever website it is, okay, whatever WordPress website it is, they type in the website name /wp admin or wp login, and they will see this page. Now they can log into my website, but what I'll do is I'll hide this thing. Now when they type in wp admin or wp login, they will not see this page. Instead they will see a 404 not found page. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So under this hides backend, click on configure settings, enable this, and choose whatever slug you want. For example, let me type in over here, not so easy. Okay, so whenever someone wants to go to the dashboard, now they don't have to type /wp admin, they have to type not so easy. Okay, now if redirect users to a custom location of your page instead of throwing a 403 forbidden page, make sure this is enabled. And redirection slug, this is by default not found, which is good. Now click on save settings. Now let us again go back to this page. Let me try again. Let me first go to the website. All right, okay, this is the website. Now let me try again with the wp admin. So I put in /wp-admin. Let's see what happens. Now as you can see, I'm getting a 404 not found page error, because that page is not found. Even if I try this wp login thing, wp login.php, I'll get this same error. Now as you can see, page not found. Now let me try this, not so easy. Okay, let's see what happens. Now as you can see, I am redirected over here. So this is a very important setting. Now click on save settings. Alright guys, so with this we have completed this video. I hope this video was helpful. I think this is really helpful. Okay, so if you have any doubt, any comments, any queries, any suggestions for me, you can leave them in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, because after this I am going to create another episode in which I'll cover image optimization and compression. That is also very important video, or very important topic I would say, because that would improve the performance and speed of your website, and that will help you rank higher in Google search rankings. Okay, if you find this video helpful, make sure to give a thumbs up to this video. Also click on that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Till then, take care.